And it was so surprising. Even there, you'd get just people coming up to you, welcome to Korea, like, hello, thank you, where are you from? They're just so interested and like warm to you. So that's a nice experience. 안녕하세요. 저는 아담입니다. 영국 사람이에요. Nice to meet you. I've lived in Korea for about 9 years now. 9 years. Yeah, I've been to Japan a few times, just for weekends and just vacations sometimes. Tokyo, Osaka, Fukuoka, Fukushima. I think I've been to a lot of places actually. That's a good question. Like when I left England to move to Asia, Japan was one of the options. But looking into it, I think to teach at the time, Korea was offering like the best sort of circumstances. So Korea. One. So living in Asia for quite a while now, it's really easy to travel around to different countries. Similar to in Europe, you can just travel all around Europe because it's so close. So I've been to a lot of places in Asia. Living in Korea for so long and going to Japan quite a few times, there's a few things I've noticed that are different. The first thing that comes to mind is transportation. It's so much more convenient in Korea, especially Seoul. The subway is so good. My family just came here after I showed them a few times and how to use the machine. They could just get around so easily, like with there's a lot of apps that they can use. Recently I've started using also Kakao Maps for the buses because I love buses, so I can just find out where I am and then jump on a bus. So that's been a revelation for me. In Japan, I find the subway system a little bit more confusing. I think just the convenience of it and the language of it and comfortable. Subway is also like very small in Japan, a lot of them. Like the subway, it's very small and low, but here it's really nice. Like some of the lines, which one's really nice? Line 2 is pretty nice and comfortable. 9, line 9's good. 7, I like 7 too. A lot of good subways. Best bit, I like it when subway goes outside and like you get a view. That's why I like to take the bus that much, because you get a view of the city. It's really comfortable. It's like the whale of the road. It just glides through the road. I love buses so much. That's probably one of my favorite things in life. So when the subway goes outside and you get the view of like the hangang, like that's a really nice part. But back to different, seems to take a little bit more time and a little bit more effort to travel in Japan. I took a bus to go into the mountains because I don't really understand the language there too much. Kind of have to watch other people to see what they do. Like, do I need to put money in? Do I need a card to get on? Do I have a voucher? Like, how do I get off? How do I know when my stop is? But here, partly because I'm used to it and partly because it's so convenient. On a bus, you've got this stop is, and University. Then it's like, the next stop is, so as I said, my family just came over here. They found it so easy to travel around and were confident and comfortable. And I was confident and comfortable to leave them. It's like, okay, meet me here, and they would arrive. Really good. That's one of the best things in Korea, I think, transportation, personally. It's cheap, it's easy. I cannot drive, so even if I could, I wouldn't have a car. I don't really like traveling in taxis too much. So subway is great. I love buses. I'm gonna get the bus home. Living in Korea and Asia in general, I'm 6'2", 189, not that tall. But when I came here, everyone was like, oh, you're going to be huge, you're going to be a giant, you're going to stick out, which is partly true, but not really. I think that's quite a misconception. I see a lot of tall Koreans taller than me as well. I think it's just a bit of a myth. Koreans and Asians are really tiny. But in Japan, some of the things are tiny, like the restaurants, like the bowls, they're all like very cute and very minute. It can be a little bit uncomfortable. Like in Korea, it's not so much. Like the cars are bigger, the restaurants are a bit more spacious. In Japan, I do tend to find myself crouching a lot, going under things. That's a difference as well. It's not hugely inconvenient, but it's just something that's noticeable when coming from the two countries. Also in Korea, English is a lot more abundant. If you saw in a previous video that K-Love and I did, we talked about like the prominence of English in Korea, and as well as understanding Hangul and being able to read the signs, then it's often like translated pretty well into English as well. So again, like when my family were here or friends come, it's easy for them to find something familiar if they don't necessarily read Korean. Whereas in Japan, if I remember rightly from my experience, probably in the city center, like the bigger area, Shibuya, Shinjuku, going to be a bit of English because they're expecting tourists. But I think as you get further out, it's going to become less. That might be a bit difficult. I personally cannot read Japanese. I think a lot of research is done beforehand to see where I'm going or what I'm looking for. whereas in Korea, I understand and can speak and read. So it's a lot more easy for me personally just to go out into the world and like experience the things. People always come up to me in the street, hello, where are you from? Obviously, I get that in Korea a lot. I used to live in Cholanamdo in Mokpo, and I used to teach in an even like less busy place. And it was so surprising, even there you'd get just people coming up to you, welcome to Korea, like hello, thank you, where are you from? They're just so interested and like warm to you. So that's a nice experience. When I'm in Japan, I'm usually traveling. I have something to do, somewhere to go. So I don't really have that many interactions. Japanese people is a bit cool. It's like too cool to go up and talk to someone or like be interested in them. But Korea is a very warm country, and kids, strangers always just seem to want to interact. Always a fun experience. So today I talked about some differences that I found whilst living in Japan and living in Korea. So if you like this video, you can comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.